Welcome back inside the Hidden Oddbox Gamer. I'm Chris and this is the ultra-modded graphics Skyrim Anniversary Edition load order for 2022 video. All the mods are shown in the correct load order and linked in description, so you can add them into your library or favorites by logging directly into Bethesda's website. The goal of this mods load order for Skyrim on Xbox is to improve every little graphical detail of Skyrim while also keeping a steady frame rate and a consistent artistic tone. The mods have been tested on Xbox Series X and I really liked the results I came up with. Hopefully you will like them too. Subscribe if you do. Let's begin. A word of advice before we start with the mods list. Since the launch of Skyrim AE, both the Anniversary and the Special Edition already run natively at 60 FPS on Series X and S. I think this also applies to the Xbox One family, but in case I'm wrong you can also find in description the link to download the Uncapped FPS mode. Use it exclusively on last gen and exclusively if the game doesn't already run at 60 FPS, or you risk compatibility issues. Okay, the first two mods that I usually put in every load order for Skyrim on Xbox are the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch and QoL and bug fix compilation. Thanks to these two mods, the game will benefit from a lot of bug fixing, new lore-friendly items hidden throughout Skyrim, and the improvement or removal of many annoyances like weird NPC behaviors or minor graphic issues. Since this load order is focused only on graphics, from the next mod until the end of the video, you can freely choose to install or skip any mod individually at your liking. Just be sure to follow the order of activation from this video and you'll be fine. Now it's time to take care of clothing and armors. My favorite Xbox mod to overhaul the clothes around Skyrim is Changes NPC Clothes Elaborate Textiles. With it, the clothes will have much better textures and details. For the armors instead I found an all-in-one solution with Simply Realistic Armors Custom Hardware UA Edition, which replaces most if not every armor featured in Skyrim with much better looking models and textures. This section features improvements for the most important items of the game. In fact, the first Skyrim mod is Old Kingdom Weapon Overhaul. With Old Kingdom, the weapons will keep their original artistic style while also sporting much more detailed textures. Next up, you will be surprised to know that I found a new great mod for capes, which is Cloaks and Capes XB1. Thanks to it you can craft a variety of cloaks at any tanning rack right away, and as you can see they look amazing. Of course, many NPCs such as guards will also be making use of them, which is great. Awesome Potions Simplified by completely replaces almost every type of Skyrim potion on Xbox. And finally, since they are critical items for the most important parts of the story, I also decided to install Elder Scrolls HD 2K to give them the detailed look they deserve. I will now show you all the animal and creature mods for this load order, which you really should try out for yourself since I believe YouTube's compression doesn't give them enough justice. The first one is Rally's Shaggy Cows of Skyrim, which adds a lot of long hair to the cows. Then, thanks to Fluffworks, Fluffy Animals Quality 2K, many animals such as saber cats, bears and horses will look way more realistic and detailed. Then we have HD Reworked Dragon Collection to replace the textures of dragons with a remastered version of the originals, which is also what Eternach's and Spriggan Retexture does for those creatures. Natural Timber Colored Werewolf colors the werewolves with a hair more similar to real-life wolves. And finally we get to the Undead. Skeleton Replacer HD 2K replaces skeletons, skulls, bones and many other related objects with way better 3D models and textures. And Xbox One Dragon Retexture Bloody White version enhances and remasters the look of the joggers. This one is ultimately very important because as we know there are a lot of these guys around Skyrim. Before jumping into the effects, I also picked 2 extra mods for some fine details. HD Furniture Clutter improves quite a lot of furniture pieces of the game. And then, since many of us Dragonborns like to play stealth, there is a big chance that you are going to be a thief, so it's very important to install Lockpicking Interface Redone XB1 to make door locks look much better. All the following FX mods improve the look of the Skyrim effects they refer to, so I will quickly list them. Enhanced Blood Textures, Enhanced Blood Textures Darker Add-on, Arctic Frost Effects Redux, Ultimate HD Fire Effects by BuzzD84, Voltage by SRW0, And finally, if you want the most realistic experience possible, I also suggest you to install the No Edge Glow Magic and Transformations XB1 to prevent these colored glow effects to appear on any character, you included. And this is where the fun begins.
This is where the fun begins.
The bulk of Skyrim mods that make the game look much better on Xbox is in this section. See-through windows and 3D buildings is a mod that adds fake interiors to a lot of windows in the main cities of Skyrim. I think this one adds a welcomed layer of believability to the world, but it has to be noted that sometimes the actual interior of a building doesn't match with the fake interior that you see from the outside. Majestic Mountains North Side is the new version of Majestic Mountains and will make the mountains look a lot better from the distance. Simply darker Inferno Fire Effect light makes caves and dungeons darker while also making fires more bright and realistic. These next two mods add minor and self-explanatory details. Their names are Cathedral 3D Rocky Shores and Mary's Flora all in one. Cathedral Landscapes V3 Grass and Landscape Light improves grass, roads, stones and many other natural textures and objects, and is still the best for gorgeous visuals and a stable frame rate. Fluffy Snow is the mod I chose to replace the snow texture, which is now a lot more realistic. Unfortunately, I could not find a mod that includes footprints on the snow. For remastering the cities of Skyrim on Xbox, I chose the mods Noble Skyrim Main Cities by Shutter, which takes care of Whiterun, Solitude, Riften, Markarth and Windhelm, and Cities of the North AIO Bundle 1K USEP Free, which instead takes care of Dawnstar, Morthal, Forkrith and Winterhold. Just be aware that with this last mod, some interiors will be different in these cities, so for optimal placement of the items inside all the buildings, the author suggests to install the mod on a new save. Skyland Imperial Forts and Dungeons adds better textures and details to those environments, of which I especially like the small engravings in dungeons. Villages of Zenithar, true farmhouses, will make all the villages such as Riverwood look way better and very impressive. Divine Texture Pack Trees and Glassy Water 4K are masterclass mods that improve their respective areas perfectly. Divine People of Skyrim Original is an all-in-one mod to improve the NPC faces of Skyrim on Xbox. Like usual, I also suggest a quality world map for a much more clear-looking map, as well as the following mods for weather and atmosphere. 2021 Cathedral Weather with God Rays, which also includes a spell to manage its settings. Cathedral Night Skies Blue Lore 4K to have a high-quality sky. The Evergreen RASS shaders and effects to make so that effects like snow and blood stick on characters without impacting the performance. And the incredible Skyrim is Windy XB1 to make grass and trees react to the wind, also without impacting the frame rate. And now, the icing on the cake comes with Display Enhancements XB1. When you install it, remember to load your game, then save, and load the new save file to make this mod work. Thanks to it, you will be able to modify many screen parameters such as brightness, contrast and saturation. I personally like to add brightness once, add contrast twice and remove saturation once. Oh, you also have the option to manage the RGB colors, but it slows down the mod significantly, so I would avoid that if I were you. Did you enjoy your time with the video? Leave a like if so, and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and game on!